Whew. Right, Mr. Approach Procedure. Kaylee is what we're heading towards. Mr. Approach Procedure, climb to 1,000 feet, then climb left, turn to 5,000 via heading 330, blah blah blah. Anyways, not a concern right now until we get out of here. To get out of here though, Houston, gotta check their preferential runway usages. I remember, who was it? Seahawk, I believe, was telling me yesterday what the preferential runway uses. I believe he said 26 left and right is what they use for departures, and the 27 is usually arrivals. But you can check that.
Just one wish will be granted. One heart will wear a valentine. Make it mine. Make it mine.
Takeoff minimum departure procedures. Yeah, I know that's just the generic one. All over United States. That's not what I want. Preferential runway use. Runway 0927, close aircraft with wingspan 215 feet or above. Not us. Doesn't say it here. I would have said it on the Navigraph chart if only I could access it. For whatever reason, it's not working. Let me try it on my tab actually. I might still be able to take a look at the runways there. I'm hoping that works. Right, Houston airport information chart. Alright, and only 2 weeks to the PMD 747, just saw the post last night. Yeah, exactly, Jork. 2 weeks unless something goes horribly wrong, but pretty cool, man. Feels like a mispurchase already since I have everything in FSX. Again, Remkov, here's the thing. Like, you're not that far deep into FSX, so you can actually make the switch if you wanted. The one thing you could do, although it's a little bit expensive to do, is since you don't have if you don't have the PMDG jets yet, instead of buying them for FSX, just buy them in P3D instead, you know, and then start developing it that way. Biggest pain in the butt is usually the PMDG aircraft in P3D anyways. And P3D just looks same as FSX. Yeah, no, it's not gonna be more like X-Plane 11, but Remkov, you can get P3D to look very nice with some tweaks and stuff. Either way, you're gonna have to tweak either sim to get the best looks out of it. No, it's not gonna work amazingly out of the box, unfortunately. Still looks like shite. Yeah, Remkov, you gotta mess with your settings in AMD, or no, not AMD, sorry, your NVIDIA inspector. You know, you gotta set up your anti-aliasing, stuff like that. Yeah, I can't find preferential runway use though. Not in the single core and 4.7 and workhorse. Damn, you're really pushing it, aren't you? You're pushing it big time. But yeah, anything over 4 will help you though. Well, Oral, you have to keep take into account the fact that my 5820K is 6 cores instead of 4 that you have in their 4790. So, you know, I'm 4.0 at 6 cores versus 4.0 at 4 cores, you know. So, a lot more power. Which helps not so much in FSX, I don't think. But it helps for other things, like encoding videos and stuff that, again, I needed as part of my work before. So that's why I ended up getting this CPU that I did. Also because it had me move up to the LGA 2011 and the X99 series of boards, which is a little bit more future-proof if I do want to upgrade, so oh well. Anyways, cowl flaps are opens, prop governors increase, lights come on, carburetor is in cold, superchargers low, mixtures off, pump shutoffs are open and guarded. Carb vapor return switches, here they are open. Fuel oil, we'll check. And thank you so much for your follow, Mick Taylor. Welcome to the Aviation Hub, sir. Fuel, right. Don't know about that one. Oil, well, looks good, yeah. I don't think I need to add more oil. Hydraulic fluids reservoirs are in the full, good. Anti-icer fluids full as well. No need any refilling there. Cabin pressurization, master on, heater on, and the ground blower, turn that on. Start bringing the cabin temperature up. It's right now freezing cold at about 9 degrees, 10 degrees, and bring it up to 20-ish plus, so that the passengers don't complain when we start boarding them. Landing gears are down and locked. Altimeters, right. Gotta set altimeter. To do that, gotta turn my avionics on. Radio master switch in the dark there, nicely hidden. Push the 20. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That is true, Oro. But you know, since your base clock is already so damn high, you know, the jump is quite a lot also, you know. And again, it all depends on your chip, if you get lucky with it or not. You know, the what they call it, the silicon lottery, because not all chips are made equal. Some will overclock better than the others. Mine seems to like hit a wall at about 4.3. Like I cannot get it to stabilize unless I give it more than 1.30 volts. At which point it is, it's not dangerous, but it is getting into the iffy territory. Right now I'm running at 4.0 gigahertz at 1.21 volts, I think. 1.21 at 4.0. 1.25 gets me to 4.2. Beyond that, I cannot get it stable. And my temperatures at that point, since I'm running only air cooling and only have one CPU tower fan and one exhaust and one intake, not cool enough airflow, and then temperatures go up to 80 degrees while streaming, which may be pushing it a little bit high. That's why I turned it down just a tad bit. In terms of my chip itself, it can probably take easily. I mean, I've had people clock it up to 5.0 plus easily. Average 4.7, 4.8 on the 5820K, assuming you hit the lottery well. And the temperatures, it can take up to 90, no problems. Above that, you should be concerned. But you know, you don't want to hit it at 90 all the time, really.
Kilo India Alpha Hotel Airport Information Delta 1153 Zulu Weather Wind 288 at 6 Visibility 10 Sky clear Temperature 9 Dew point 3 Altimeter 2995 Advise on initial contact. You have information Delta Kilo India Alpha Hotel Airport Information Delta 1153 Zulu Weather Wind 288 at 6.
Alright, we have information delta. It's so funny the way she says it. But yeah, we have information delta on board. Altimeter 29905 is set. Outside air temperature is 9. Dew point is 6. So again, no icing to be worried about. It's nice and warm down in Houston, Texas. Right, so we got altimeter set now. Fuel dump valves are going to be up here. They're closed. Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4. Fuel dump valves are closed. Emergency fuel engine and hydraulic shutoff valves. These are here, right here. So these 1, 2, 3, 4 are the shutoffs. The fuel dumps are these 2 red levers. You can only see one of them. If I turn the other light on, it might help. Just a little bit. There we go. Oh, not too much, but it helps. More lights. Can't complain. Next step, water cooling. Yeah, water cooling helps, or you can even go with more air cooling if you can't afford it. More radiators. My case is big and empty, so air makes sense. The define, fractal defineness. So you know, I could put like a 3 times 120 millimeter fan radiator up front and on top as well, and I can even have one on the bottom if I need it, and it should be enough airflow. But yeah, ideally you want to keep your temps at max loads between 80 to 90. When you're stress testing it, anything above that you're clocking it too high or you need cooling. Alright. Mechanical elevator control pushed in, that's off. Turn that off. My hydraulic pump motor switch, that's what that was. It's off. And we're good for engine start, which I'm not going to do right now. I'm just going to take a look at the cabin temperature. Is water cooling less sensitive to outside air temperature? Yes. Yes, it is. Because it's water. Water can take in more heat. It will not regulate its temperature as quickly in the environment. So yes, it is less sensitive to outside air temperature. Apart from that, it's usually the way you set up your reservoir and stuff. It's going to be kept in an airtight, like a sealed environment, which helps it even better. The only thing with water cooling is the maintenance is a little bit more than air cooling, but if you don't mind, you know, opening your PC up and cleaning stuff, then, you know, you're good. Alright, cabin temperature is about 20 degrees, so the passengers will not complain if we start boarding them, which we are going to do now. So go with a heavy load. Yeah, let's go heavy. We're flying Houston, Memphis. That's a pretty hefty, what do you call it, or very used route. You know, it's a very common route. A lot of people flying out. There you go. There's announcements made asking people to come on board, and the load master is telling me they're starting to board the cargo now. There's our stairs coming in. And hey there, Tom and Al. Good to see you guys here, man. How are you guys doing this Monday evening or afternoon or morning, depending on where you are? For Tom, it's evening. It's night, technically. For Al, it's probably morning. And for Oral, it's afternoonish. Wow, your outside air temperature varies a lot, Oral. Over here, outside air temperature is like 30-ish in summer. In winter, it's between like 12 to 20, so not that much of a difference. Where's today's flight? We're going from Houston, Texas to Memphis, Tennessee. Just a little bit. Just a little bit, Oral. Glad you picked that up, though. Anyways, Passengers are boarding, right? So I just want them to all board up so that I know the exact number of passengers that we're going to have on board our flight today. Once we do, we will have our payload information, which I will feed into PFPX to then grab our operational flight plan, which we will be using, going back and forth, or well, just one way really, to Memphis. And also will give us our fuel figures and everything, then we can file on VATSIM and get on our merry way. I think we have a VIP on board is what she was telling me just now. We have another pilot on board, she said. Wow. Okay. So they're gonna be rating us quite a bit. Nice, Oral. I added a lot of songs already to the playlist though, so it'll take a while before your songs come on, I think. I'm like, you know what, nah, probably like I have 15 minutes worth of songs, 3-4 more songs. After that yours will come on. And welcome back, Remka, welcome back. So while the passengers board, I might as well go in and put my flight plan in, because now we can put in regardless of what our operational flight plan says. So self-test in progress, yep. 29903, nope, that's wrong. Should be 2905. Well, yep, 2905 fixed. Altitude 106 feet, that's fine. 23rd of January, 1227 Zulu. Yep, correct, enter. Let it figure out my present position. Houston, yep, KIAH, that's where we are. And let's go ahead and input our flight plan. So I'm gonna delete the previous flight plan from yesterday. Came in from Amarillo to Houston. So click clear, delete flight plan, enter, yes. I didn't put our new one. So first we're gonna input our departure airport. So hit cursor and then start typing. Kilo India Alpha Hotel. Tom, yeah, the song, the video needs to be shorter than 10 minutes, so only then it works. Kilo in India, Alpha. Alright, they're all loaded up, and I just inputted our first waypoint only. Alright, Houston, George Bush International, yep. Next is gonna be LFK. Cabin is secure, she says. LFK. Lima Fox Kilo.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Betty, and I'm your head stewardess for the flight today. I'm just going over some safety and emergency procedures. You'll find emergency landing instructions in the back of the seat in front of you. To fasten your seatbelt, simply slip the strap through the buckle and pull until secure. Please keep your seatbelt fastened until the captain has turned off the seatbelt sign. Also, smoking is only permitted when the no smoking sign is off. Please stay in your seats unless you need to use the restroom. If you need assistance, I or any of the flight attendants will be happy to help. In the event of a water landing, there are life jackets throughout the cabin. To put it on, place it over your head, clip on the waistband, and pull it tight. In case we need to exit the airplane, there are 8 emergency exits located throughout the cabin. We are all here to ensure you have an enjoyable flight. Welcome aboard the Freedom Sky.
Nice. El Dorado. D. There we go. The BUR, yep. El Dorado, and then from there directly to the airport. Memphis. KMEM. Great song request happening right now. And welcome back, Stormy. Welcome back. What was the route? Houston, Memphis. Yep. That's our route. Houston, LFK, El Dorado, Memphis. Enter. No more flight plan messages. Back to the nav page. Oh no, get rid of that. Back to the nav page. Nav 5 on this side. And nav 1 on that side. There we go. 77 miles to the next one. Or no, right? You know what? No. I need to go to the airport page and input my SID first. So airport page number 7. What we need to go for. Page number 7. Hit the cursor button and then cycle to the SID that we want. In this case, LFK1. LFK1. You know what? Why don't we use the El Dorado SID? Oh well. Do the LFK1. Out of runway 26 left. Kian, Colette, Sushi, LFK. As long as another thing means Little Rock, yeah, that's fine. Load in flight plan. So it should be part of my flight plan now. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. Alright, got our payload, which is right here. 9776. 44 passengers. Cargo 1171. So cargo 1171. 44 packs. 9619 is what it gives me. 9619. 160 more. Okay. Alright, compute flight. Release flight plan. I'm just messing with PFPX right now. Export the flight plan. Yep. Save it. Send it to VATSIM. File it on VATSIM. I'm spawning in now. Oh, nice, Tom, you're joining in. Awesome. Parked at gate. What gate am I at? I'm at. I'm at the north ramp near Terminal Delta on gate 2 Alpha. What? Cannot even access the VATSIM website? Why? RIP Chrome. So this is what's happening, guys. I'm trying to file my flight plan on VATSIM, but it's not letting me. I cannot access the website. What the hell? So I cannot access Navgraph. I cannot access. What the hell? Let me try Internet Explorer. When all else fails. No, that's my internet then. Internet Explorer cannot save us. Newsflash HK behind not crate wall. Rip. Cannot file on VATSIM. Oh well, I gotta have to do it the old-fashioned way. But if I cannot connect to VATSIM, I wonder if I can connect to VATSIM via vPilot even. Let's see. 1715. Connect. I think that worked. But I gotta fill in my flight plan manually. Oh well. Can do that. Kilo India Alpha Hotel, Kilo Memphis. Mike, I'm coming back. My alternate right. Right. Me's alternate is ATC. I'll probably get it from here. For action, please. Satisfaction. Culve. Kilo Oscar Lima Whiskey. Departure time. I think called is what my alternate is planned. I can check from here actually. KMM, no, alternate KM01. KM01. Or, yep, KM01. Departure time 12. Let's go with 1300 Zulu. En route time will be 2 hours 26 minutes. 26 minutes, and we have total endurance fuel off 4 hours 59 minutes. 4 hours 59. What's my cruise altitude? Cruise altitude is gonna be flight level 230, 23,000 feet. TAS 250 as well. Flight plan, gonna pick that up from here. Alright, and receive voice and file. That should be good. That's one way to file a flight plan. If you want to request a song though, Armin, you have to type in exclamation song request and then song name. Type that in, or the YouTube video link for the song. Why do you use FSX? Because I have it? I don't know. Because he's cheap. Yep, there we go. That's what it is. A cheap rich boy. But no, I don't know. I moved to FSX. Just seemed to make more sense to me at the time I did it, and then now I'm just, I guess, using it because I already have spent time with it, and I'm happy using it, so that's why.
Fill my heart with song. Let me sing forevermore.
My jam. Nice ram cup.
I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words,
R.I.P. Power.
I love you.
There we go. It's back, sort of.
Morning, Captain.
So we gotta go through the checklist once more. Get her started.
Ready for a fabulous flight?
Sure. If you say so. We'll make it fabulous. USP 3D, allow the shadows it offers. Yeah, shadows are nice. Shadows be cool, shadows be big. But not something I'm too overly concerned about.
All I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words,
What the hell?
in other words,
What the hell are you requesting, Rumcop? Test your speakers by Dr. Mix has been added. What the hell? My TN number GEZTB. Alright, cool, Tom. Once I connect on VATSIM, I'll let you know. Not yet at the moment. Still trying to get SIM up. Sorry, and back to its state. And hey there, Kangaroo. Hello.
But anyway, I like to fly a whole lot, and flying over here, like I said, was fun. And the only aspect of flying that I don't like is when you have to leave somebody that you care for a great deal and leave home and go out on the road.
Alright, back on VATSIM.
And
Should be able
I
to
wrote
see
a
me,
song
I hope.
about that. This was
Turn this thing back on.
about 6 years
Turn
ago, I guess.
avionics switch
And I'd like
on.
to do it for you. It's called Leaving on a Jet Plane.
It's on. 1228 is what we're on. Runner mode set. Back to the. You know what? What happened to my passengers? They're preparing for boarding, so I have to reboard my passengers. In which case, my payload might change. My flight plan might be a little bit off, but oh well. Warning lights, not gonna test those. I guess they'll be fine. Generator switches are off. Upper lower cowl flaps, gotta open those up again. Flights list? No, I don't think so. Never set that up as a command. Alright, done. Cooler switches, blah blah blah. Crop governor. Oh. Okay. The last one wasn't turning on. Carburetor, coal, superchargers low, mixtures off. Hydraulic pump shut off valves. Shut off. Fuel transfer off. Carburetor vapor return switches open. Yep. Cabin pressurization as required. Landing gear down, altimeters set. Fuel dump valves closed, emergency fuel engine and hydraulic shut-off valves open. Controller boost levers on. Mechanical elevator control is pushed in. This thing right here, yep. Autopilot motor disengaged, turn off. Levers disengaged, sorry. Hydraulic pump motor switches off. Hope my flight plan's still saved. And check that by going to flight plan. Yep, okay, it's still there. Phew. It's good. Nope, it's fine. I do have to set up my sit again, but that's not that difficult to do. Cursor, LFK1, enter, 26 left. That should open our windows up, because the windows are fogging up. And the other thing I need to do is connect GPU. Ground power unit, runway 26 left, enter, key and sushi, call it sushi LFK, load and flight plan. There we go, and back to the nav page, nav 1, nav 5 on this side. What else? The GPS that you need used in the add-on contained. Hey there, Pizza. The GPS that I'm using right now, this one, the KLM90B, is a freeware that you can download, and you can actually use it within the A2A Connie by just changing it in the settings of, in the A2A config there. A2A config, just go to the aircraft configurator. It gives you an option to choose your GPS that you want inside. You can choose the GNS 650, the GNS 530, or no, you can choose the GNS 430. Or you can use the GTN 650, or you can use this KLM90B, or you can also use Reality XP ones if you have those. You can definitely use those as well if you ever wanted. All right, GPS is set, everything else is done. Just gotta load in my passengers once again. God damn. Cabin temp is up, so let's load the passengers. Few loads looking okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention? Please report to the gate as boarding is about to begin.
Yep, boarding's beginning again. Loading in cargo, okay. And we're pretty much configured this time around. I gotta turn my tail lights on, wing lights on, navs. Beacon lights won't turn on right now since we're not intending to move. We're still loading in packs, so that's fine. I have over 2,000 AI models, still don't have yours. Lol, Tom. Yeah, the Connie. I don't think you would have expected to see the Connie much. Most AI add-on packs, I don't think. It is a retro plane, you don't just see one flying around everywhere, It's a rare sight. A very, very rare sight. By the way, where are you at, Tom? Are you close to me? I don't see you. Alright, still boarding. We're still good. Once they're loaded in, I'm gonna go ahead and start all of our engines. Like 12 passengers left to come on board still. Turn those lights on. Make things even brighter. Mainly because of these things. I don't know why if you turn like the cockpit lights on, checklists don't light up still, for whatever reason. Or these buttons there. So I don't know what that's all about. Open flight plan, nope, don't save that. That one. Alright, passengers done boarding, I think. Engine 2 catch. There we go, engine 2 started. Up pressure's okay, going up. Let it get to the green. They're dead, mixture auto rich now. And turn the primer off. And inertia motor number 1. Last engine to go, the outside one. Sun be rising, that's cool. Early morning, I can see that happening now. Pretty darn cool. Alright, prime number 1. 5 more seconds, and thank you so much for your follow. Fish can't climb, sorry. Welcome to Aviation Hub, sir. Welcome, welcome. Almost all the plane, not the Baron planes. Al, did you engage direct extend mode by any chance? Accidentally? That could be an issue. 1 turn in, 3 spins, magnetos to both. And engine 1 started as well. Perfect.
Pressure okay.
Or pressure, this one right here.
Good morning, everyone, from the cockpit.
In the green.
Nice to have you with us today. You picked great weather to go flying, so sit back and enjoy the flight. Our stewardesses are on board to serve you and make your flight enjoyable. Make sure your seatbelts are fastened and enjoy the flight.
Alright. Passengers on board, captain's made his speeches. The L engines are running. Turn magnetos, generators on. And we're gonna hand over control to the flight engineer to deal with this stuff.
Setting up the system.
He'll get the airplane set up for taxi, and all we gotta do now is set the airplane up. Otherwise, this EasyJet is just... Is that you, Tom? Doing circles around me. And hey there, Alf. Hello. That's done, yep. I'm gonna turn my passing lights on, I guess, nose lights on as well. For the taxi, pitot heat's not required at the moment. I'll turn that on when we're in the air. Windshield heat, I'll turn it off once we close our windows. And that should be it. Should be it. Just waiting for him to... Yeah, mate. Alright, Tom, go ahead. Taxi over to... Runway 26 left, that's where we're going to be going. And there you go. The engineer just told me all systems are ready, so we should be good to taxi out of here. Transponder mode Charlie and Houston. And let's get on out. Release brakes. Set flaps for takeoff. Add a little bit of power. And holy crap.
Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff.
Let's go over to the runway then. Just taxi on out of here. Will be a super short taxi. Just we're in North Ram. Just taxi out onto November Bravo, and then go that. Use that to head over to November Papa, our holding point for runway 26 left. RIP turning. Engage what? Direct extend mode, sorry. That's what I meant. You might want to turn that off in your settings. Like preview direct extend mode in display settings. If you have that turned on, could have caused some issues. But yeah, party, man, party. Here's November Alpha, right hand turn. Windshield heat, turn that on. Passengers from the last flight apparently said, great food, great flight. So they were happy with their sausages. Hopefully we'll get better sausages today, maybe. We'll find out. For breakfast, what do we get? Disco ball extended. Alright, you want disco ball? Let's go ahead, do it. Party ball in the house. I'm just right now seeing what radios I need to set up on my thing. And I realized I stopped taxiing, so rip. Inboard engines for taxi. Right. So for the Charlie, I need 112.1 and 116.6. Too bad it didn't move down from the top smoothly. Nah, man. Doesn't matter, it just pops in. Pops right in. No problems, Alf. Thanks for dropping in, man. Take care. Just hope to see you in your P3D stream soon. What's your cruise speed? 200 knots-ish. That's gonna be my cruise speed. Alright, there's our holding point for runway 26 left. I'm gonna hold at it for a few seconds while I set up my radios. Didn't do that yet, and then we'll be going ahead, doing our before taxi. Oh, sorry, before takeoff checklist. Alright, set brakes. Hold her here for a second. Taxi lights are set, flaps set for takeoff, transponder is set, radios, I will set those just right now. Party plane. So 116.6, Houston, 116.6 already set. Another one I want is LFK, 112.1. Oh yeah, I got some follows as well. Thank you so much for your follow, Mr. Who is it gonna be? Mr. It's Brixie! Welcome to the Aviation Hub, sir. 122.1 set. 116.6, I want to radial off 013 out of here. So radial 013 from. Up. Yep, 031 from. And on VOR 2M1, radial 203 from. 203 from. Haven't picked it up yet, but it should change once we do. 203 from. Okay, apart from that, we'll just use the GPS for navigation. Our departure briefing out of here, runway, just climb ahead, straight ahead, and runway heading. Climb to 1,500 feet, then initiate our right-hand turn towards waypoint KIAH, 19 miles away from Houston, or Humble VOR. It's going to be on a radial of 103 from Humble. That's what we're going to intercept, and continue heading out after that from here. Departure speeds, climb speed about 120, 140 knots, rotate speed 105, V1 about 100. Turn strobe lights on, landing lights on, extend those as well. They should come right out here. There we go, perfect. Hard on cue, passengers are ready. We told them ready up for departure, so we should just get on out of here. Even those lighting shines from it, don't know how to call it. Fly Purdue's party plane? What the hell is that? I'll take a look into it. I don't know what it is. Engines, right. Still gotta take control of all my engines. Didn't do that yet. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Enable track IR, or well, track hat. Alright, make sure runway clear. Right is clear. Left is clear. Don't see anyone on the runway, so we should be good to take it. By the way, my scenery is much better. Nice. Nice out. Alright, 26 left. Set brakes. Set brakes, flaps set, 30 inches manifold pressure, verify power, no warnings.
Sexy fish.
And yep, looking good. Let's go, full power, speed. Big release.
Rolling.
And we're rolling.
50.
Airspeed alive, 80 knots, checked. V1,
100. Rotate.
rotate. Pull back slightly, let her gently lift off the ground. And we're up, positive rate, gear up.
Finally, I can come out of my shell again.
Where'd you come from?
Don't bother with where I came from. Think about how it'll feel
You're
when I
up.
pulverize you to the ground.
I like how there's an aircraft at the other end of the runway. I'm guessing that's Tom.
Short the time.
Take off runway 26 left, did you? So maintain climb power until, sorry, take off power until 1,500 feet. Reduce to climb power and then continue on out of here. So keep runway heading for now.
You again. I guess I'll have to deal with you just like how I dealt with your friends back at San Francisco.
And bye-bye, Houston.
What the hell? Energize. What?
Flaps up. That's 1,500.
Flaps up.
Go, but for now, toodaloo.
Let's reduce power. 32 inches manifold pressure. And reduce RPMs to 2,300. That's going to be our climb power. Okay, now right hand turn, intercept our radial towards our first waypoint, KIAH. A nice and gentle right hand turn. Keep climbing along the way.
Second count flaps.
Turn those lights off. I don't want to skip the song. I don't know what the hell is playing.
He's back. Good. Why?
Because I've been monitoring it, and that's the reason I'm here. It's done.
Thanks.
Go. Go, Power Ranger.
Das Fischenbeere.
Hi, welcome to Dr. Mix. This is a signal test for you. Enjoy.
There we go. We reached Remkov's headphone test or something. Might want to skip this one too. Just saying. Alright, there's Houston below us. And we're climbing on out of here. Zoom out a little bit. So if you use my GPS, you can see my CDI. Gotta turn right to intercept that one, make it in the center of the line. That's my flight plan route from Houston to KIAH. Usually along this part you'll get vectored towards the first waypoint. So what you're supposed to do technically is just climb out runway heading, maintain that, and get vectored over to your first waypoint. Obviously, since we don't have ATC on board and we're just, you know, flying on Unicom, so we got to vector ourselves. So as soon as I was up at 1,500 feet, made my right hand turn and back towards it on our own way. Doing about 140-ish knots on the climb out there. Flaps are up, gears up, and retracted. Just gotta head out to intercept radial 013 from Humble VOR. my prank. What the hell was happening there? By the way, is it just me or the music
Ladies and gentlemen,
super quiet?
hello from the flight deck again. We're now climbing to a cruise altitude. Once we reach this altitude, we'll be able to power back these big engines and things will flat down nicely.
Yeah, that's what he said. Turn that off. Don't need all these lights on now, because well, it is turning daytime, and look at that beautiful, beautiful early morning sunrise that we could be enjoying right now, heading on out of here. So beautiful. Clear sky is just like, you know, literally a cloud or two. Nothing too much to be worried about. And there's our radial coming in. We gotta intercept our course. Keep heading, still off to our right. We're climbing through 6,000 right now. Flight level 230 will be our cruise altitude. 18,000 will be transition out of US, pretty standard. I don't like cricket. What? Why you don't like cricket, bro? Australian. People love cricket. So should the British. Yep, up and away. Current song is from before the loudness war, so the video has low volume. I see. Lol. Good song, mate. The song is good. The fact that you don't like cricket, though. Alright, back on course. What the passengers say, 38 passengers on board. Engines appear to be healthy. It's been 7 minutes since we took off. So we're just climbing along nicely. Still heading to our first waypoint, 7.5 nautical miles away. Take a look on the outside. There's the Connie from the back. It's a side view. Another beautiful view. The other side. Some wing view action. Nope, shouldn't look back. But there's Houston behind us, pretty much where we left. Probably deviating off course quite a bit, like I thought. Let's make a left-hand turn, get back on it. Time for a Chesterfield. Not yet, man. Not yet. Too early. Too early. Still climbing. That's when we get in cruise. That's you can have that along with your sausages when Betty comes and serves it to you. Whoa. So we are to the right of our course, but I'm gonna say we are slightly off to our right due to weather. Because literally only one cloud in the sky, and let's just fly around it, right? I guess. Sure, we diverted due to weather around the cloud. That's why we're off course. That's the official story. Betty, coffee. If only that hostess button, man, A2A, and modeled it. If only it worked. We were able to scream and get Betty right in here for our coffee. Hello, Lucky FLS. Hello, sir. Welcome. Alright, gotta make a left-hand turn now. Blue around the cloud, close enough. Get back on course. Climbing out of 8,500 right now. Add a little bit more power. Want to maintain 32 inches manifold. And thank you so much for your follow. Lucky FLS, welcome to the Aviation Hub, sir. Appreciate the follow. Alright, there's a cloud away from us. Take a look at, oops, from that side, that's how it looked. And, oh no, okay. That's just my wires there. Thought there was someone flying around me there for a second. Alright, flying back on course now. Let's lower our rate of climb just a little bit so I can gain some airspeed there. That'll only help us with the climb out further. Well, this thing is not fun, not a don't worry. Be happy. That's what happened to move my head, like, move it slightly. Don't worry. Be happy. I'll get seasick real quick. Alright, make a right hand turn now. Alrighty, Rep Cop. Great song though. Definitely a great song. Alright, past 10,000 feet. Line lights can go off. Retract those. And turn those off. Passing lights. Yeah, it's still early morning, so we'll leave it on. Wing lights and tail light, that's fine. Past 10,000, so let's reduce our rate of climb. Make it nice and gentle for the passengers back there so we can unseat them. And Betty can go ahead and start preparing breakfast and whatnot, which she probably will do, and start getting us coffee once we do that. So there you go, slow rate of climb there. We'll accelerate, and while that happens, we can disengage seatbelt signs. And no smoking off as well. There you go, coffee incoming, guys. I'm gonna be here any second now. Betty will be like, oh, do you want coffee, sir?
Ain't got no cash, ain't got
No style, ain't got no money to make you smile. Don't worry. Be happy. Alright, did you have a look at the Fly Pretty Party plane pic that I think you should shamelessly rip off? I mean, honor with homage. Yep. I haven't taken a look at it yet, no. Did you link it to me or something? I know you were talking about it something a bit earlier, but then I just like was flying. So Fly PR2 has his OBS overlay that has a tube liner from the front, puts his webcam in the pilot window, and he has animated gifs of people dancing like Gangnam style on the wings. I see. Nope, I haven't taken a look at it, but I'll take a look. I'll take a look. If you guys don't know what my donation goal is all about, face rig, take a look at the one Manny on YouTube. You'll know what it's all about. So hopefully with that there, we'll be able to do something like that. Our own version of Fly Purdue's party scene right there. Nescafe stat, yep. Actually, here's a good question. Did they have Nescafe back then? Just taking a look at my charts. Yeah, but did they have Nescafe back in the 40s? Was that a thing? I know Nestle was a thing, but was Nescafe a thing? Who knows? Or is it like an 80s invention, you know? Like most canned food and stuff was. Alright, approaching literally our first waypoint in our SID. Not even our flight plan route yet. So yeah, rip.
Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry.
Gentlemen, coffee?
There you go. There's coffee.
The smile on your face.
There's our coffee.
Don't bring everybody down like this.
Careful.
Everyone, orders up. Betty's here.
On your left.
Thank you, Betty. I'll take one latte. Make it super sugary. I want to wake up. On my right. Yep.
On
there.
your right?
Yep. I got it. Picked it up.
Thank you.
Thank you, Betty.
There you go.
Thank you, Betty.
Can you see me? No, I can't, Tom. If I could see you, I would have noticed you by now, but nope, I can't see you. But there's a link. Okay, let me take a look. I see. That looks absolutely hilarious. Alright, might have something like that on my own. Café au lait pour moi, s'il vous plaît. Alright, I don't like face rig too much. Yeah, well, somebody wanted me to try it out, so I'll give it a try out. Well, Bart, actually, specifically. I don't know if he's here right now. He wanted me to check it out. Alright. Flight engineer is ready to engage high blowers, so I'm going to reduce power down to 20 inches manifold pressure. Probably going to kill our climb, but once the high blowers are on,
Engaging high blowers.
we should have more power. There we go, perfect. More power now. High blowers will help us big time. And don't worry about my course there. I'm just going to be off. I'm following the GPS course. What I need is a bearing of 201 minus 180 to 31. I need a bearing of 31. That's the one I need. Right? No. Bearing 201. What? That can't be right. Oh well. Turn back. Intercept the GPS course a little bit to my left. According to that. One mimosa, por favor. Are we there yet? Nope. Literally, KIAH was our first waypoint. That's what we're reaching. Wait, that can't be right. We already to waypoint number 4. And we're going away from KIAH. So why is that in changed yet? Okay, let's fix that. We're at sushi already now. So what the hell? Flight plan? Alright, let me try to fix that. Turn head tracking off. Just a little bit less sensitive. Turn easy dock off as well. Not yet, actually. Please don't spend your money on base rig. I shouldn't, okay. If you guys think so. Then I thought I would rather see his real face. I see, I see. True, you guys do have good points there. Could look into it. You guys suggest. I was just going off other people's suggestions on Discord. They apparently wanted me to try it out big time, so that's why I made it so. Anyways, let me fix my flight plan first. Alright, I think we should be good now. Gonna make a left-hand turn heading 019er, and we should be back on course heading towards Lima Foxtrot Kilo. Just zoom out a little bit as well. We're at 16,000, climbing to flight level 230, sorry. Got a green screen, landed in Auckland. Nice, Stormy. Congrats, man. How long will your flight be? About 2 hours, yeah, roughly. That sounds about right. Should be able to accelerate a little bit more once we actually get down, or sorry, get to cruise altitude. Well, that's 160 knots in an A380. Oh, you're flying an A380, is it? I thought you were flying an A320 on my screen, an EasyJet. Lol, following roads. Yep. Can I fly through tunnels? Well, depends on your aircraft. You probably could, if something small enough. Speaking of small airplanes, interestingly, there's now UAV add-ons for FSX and P3D. There's definitely one for X-Plane as well. Payware one they released, but there's UAV add-ons. So if you can want to fly UAVs, you can do that within Flight Sim. Don't know how that works, but it's cool, I guess. I don't know. Sorry, the A320. All right, gotcha. Still on climb, yep. Engines are healthy. Trying to get back on course. And alright, I got it. Then I'll go ahead and not go ahead. Oh well, I'll go ahead and cancel the face rig thing. Looks like no face rig while you're actually flying. I know, right, Pizza? Don't curse it though. I hope we'll continue flying, no crashes and stuff. But yeah, we're flying. We're actually climbing at 17,000 feet even, heading to our fifth waypoint rather. You wanna know a good site where to fly a flight sim rig? Fish, there is, it depends where you are. In the UK there is, I think, Chill Blast PCs. Specifically they make flight sim PCs for flight sim. But then again, really, if you want a flight sim rig, you know, just pick a good systems rig and you'll be fine with flight sims. Build your own. I know Al here in chat used some website. I don't know if he has a link to it still. Maybe he can help you with that. Mr. Fish. But yeah, Chill Blast PCs is one that I can think of. I don't know of anyone exactly specifically selling flight sim PCs though. Does they have place ship to US? I think they ship worldwide as far as I know. But then again, I don't know much. I built my PC myself. I didn't really do it through them. And I can't even say if they're good or not. I've never used their services, unfortunately. But link in chat there if you want to check them out. Alright, trying to get back on track. Oh, still to my left. We are at 18,000 almost, so that means we can reset altimeter 2 not a long way to go this time. We're already at 295. Right about there seems good. But yeah, I want to see if I can see Tom, right? He's to my 7 o'clock apparently. Wait, I don't know where my 7 is, sorry. Don't see him yet. Don't even see any contrails in the sky, so I don't know. Yeah, it's a damn good day to be flying, really. Literal clear skies. And lights have gone off now. We'll turn those off, turn cabin lights off. Passengers enjoy the beautiful views. I'm at your 2 o'clock this time, okay. Doing a quick scan. No visual. Aircraft not in sight. Or traffic not in sight, sorry. Alright, let's make a right hand turn, heading 024. What's a good starter joystick? There is the Microsoft's joystick there. What's it called? I forgot the name of it. There's Thrustmasters. Logitech 3D is probably a great one for the starter without having too much money to invest into it. Although if you're really serious, you might as well get a good joystick. I played a lot of Arma 3, but started getting into flight sim as well. Arma 3, okay. Then you are in the same boat as flight sim pretty much. You need a PC with a really strong CPU basically, because both Arma and FSX or P3D even are both very CPU intensive games for the most part. So it'll help you big time to get a good PC for that. Nope, don't want to descend.
Yeah, it's not really dyed. The eyebrows aren't. Yeah, like these. I was listening to dubstep before a lot of you were wearing diapers, alright? Which means before you were born!
Yeah, that too. P3D can take advantage of a good video card. So can Arma, but you definitely need a strong CPU. There is no alternative to it. You can't cheap out on your CPU. That thing needs to be your biggest concern at the moment, like getting a good one. Then apart from that, a good GPU also helps. Still in the climb apparently. Alright, I think it's morning enough I can turn the passing light off. Not the passenger light, passing light. 19,000, still climbing. Okay, what do you have right now? An i7 4790K GPU and GTX 970 8GB RAM. Yeah, that's going to be super good for your for both Arma and FSX. That's solid. I'm running almost the same thing good job. I mean, it's good enough because then it's not, my yoke is not fixed onto the table. When I do want to use my table, I can just rip it off and you know, go ahead with that. The reason I couldn't use my clamps is because my table is a super thick one. The drawers right below it, so there's no way, there's no clamp that's big enough to do that. So that's one way to get around doing it, I guess. Already hit uninstall. Well, rip Remcup. Well, since you already uninstalled FSX, you might as well go with P3D Kappa. And great stream, by the way. Thanks, Fish. Thank you. Appreciate it. Sure hope it is a great stream. Alright, flight level 230, there it is. Let's trim her out. Trimmy McTrimmyville. And then engage autopilot. Power the engines down, 29 inches, RPMs. Reduce prop RPMs to 2,000. Right there. Make those engines nice and quiet. Because when they are, passengers are happy. And when they're happy, well, it means we're in cruise. So there you go. Now it says we are in cruise. She's preparing breakfast now. Breakfast time. Oh yeah. I only say it because I love you, Remka. P3D for the win. No man, FSX Steam Edition for the win. Such a mispurchase, rip money. RIP Remkov, RIP. Overclock CPU and a non-overclockable motherboard. Oops. Nope, you don't want that. That's a big no-no. It's incompatibility right there. Breakfast about to be served soon. I probably can go ahead and remove... I know, that's fine. That is fine. Explain for the win, such beauty. Remkov, you've just been using Explain 11 like default pretty much at this point. You should take a look at ortho scenery if you really enjoyed Explain. Like that photoreal scenery is just, by God, it's beautiful. The only thing wrong with Explain is the weather system and the seasons and the lack of too many airplane add-ons. But yeah, the sim-wise and the base framework, it's pretty good. A lot better than the older rusty engine that we have running in FSX and V3D.
Making smart with the words again. Well, I'm bored, because I'm doing this for the thrill of it, killing it, never not.
Lol, really, Stormy? I see that quite often.
Pressurization set.
They're usually on around this time.
It's the minute is full of it, getting pumped up on the little right things I want. But I know they'll never own me.
I uninstalled it via Steam and look what I left behind. Okay, let me take a look. Hey lol, wow, your entire thing is still there, wow. Rip. I haven't yet had to uninstall FSX completely, but yeah. RIP. RIP Steam uninstallations. Bring breakfast. Breakfast's about to be served, ladies and gents. So what do you guys fancy for breakfast today? Put your orders in chat and breakfast will come right up. Nice catch there, Didion. Lessons learned. Lesson learned. But guys, food. Gimme. Put your orders in. Snacks. It's breakfast time, bro. Kanga banger. What the hell is that? Kangaroo meat? I want a French breakfast. French breakfast in Texas. Okay. French breakfast in Texas. Let me see what I can find. Okay, I have one coming right up for you, Oral. You'll like it.
Baby, be the class clown. I'll be the beauty queen in tears. It's a new art form showing people how little we care. We're so happy.
There you go.
Even when we're smiling out of fear.
Voilà, monsieur.
Let's go down to the tennis court and talk it up like yeah.
Votre petit déjeuner français. Very minimal, but also absolutely French. Un croissant avec du café. C'est bon, no? Paris, Texas. True, good point. They do have Paris. Beautiful. French breakfast, café au lait, croissant, and a glaçon Gauloise cigarette. Okay. Interesting. Now I want to reinstall my whole PC. Rep Remkov. Reinstalling whole PCs. Yeah, that's gonna be something. Merci beaucoup, Madame Betty. Yeah, magnifique. Alright, what else do we want? What does Stormy want? Stormy wants a sushi. Okay. Stormy's in mood for some sushi.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello from the flight deck again. We've now settled into a nice cruise. This is where the aircraft can spread its wings and fly high and fast. So sit back, relax, and feel free to explore this amazing airplane.
Oh yeah, we sit back and relax, ladies and gents. We are only now settled in cruise, not 25 minutes ago. Totally not at all, just right now only. Breaking live, we just told you right about it as soon as it happened. It's my work PC. Well, rip Remkov, rip. RIP. Maybe you want some work-related PC reinstalls. Oh, it's sausages. Okay. You buy these the local Wallies. How they taste like chicken. Seriously though, like, okay, as a person who doesn't eat meat, and I hear everyone comparing food. Like when you ask someone how does it taste, like it's like tastes like chicken. Okay, why does everything measured in terms of chicken? Like, you know, this beef jerky tastes 16 chicken. Like what? Why is chicken a measure of instrument for meat? Or instrument a measure of what? Oh, you've actually had kangaroo, huh? Tastes like chicken is a running gag, I think. I see. That one makes sense. Why everything tastes like chicken, like goddamn. There you go, Stormy. Sushi is served for you now. In-flight sushi. Ignore the part where it says Hawaiian Airlines. It's totally not. This is all made freshly by Twitch Air. Has anyone eaten Vegemite? Oh yeah, by the way, But yeah, Remkov has his ways. She should have seen your fare price, you know, and then she would be like, mm-hmm. But I guess you, well, I guess he is in first class, so or business class, so you have to take that into account, Stormy. He wasn't flying pleb class like us, like we normally do. We just get our food handed down to us, like in one big chunk. Just slams it down onto the tray table. Even if you are like asleep, they don't care. Just like open the tray table and slam it down there. Eat it or not, take it. She came over and asked if it was good, and I told her I was still a bit hungry. Seemed legit, Remkov. By the way, Didian, is this your song? Let me check. Yep, it is. It is. Nice. Kool-Aid. I'm on a plane. Not bad, man. Not bad at all. Was a nice breakfast, though. Drank like 4 coffees and 4 apples. Damn, what? Wow. She kept refilling though. This first class business sounds nice, or business class, I guess. Sounds useful. On KLM at least. In the evening flight, I drank like 4 bottles of champagne. Seems legit. 4 bottles of champagne. Was that also the flight that diverted due to drunk passenger on board? Perhaps? And were you escorted out in handcuffs, by any chance? I wanted to eat and drink my money back. You can check the song list for the name, but the song name is exactly here. Now I'll take 26 now, as I'm now full speed. Yep, sounds about right. The real flight is just 1 hour, less than 1 hour. If you do it at normal speeds. Right now we have like really strong headwinds. We have 60 knot headwind, an 82 knot crosswind component, so it doesn't help us. You pay like $1.40, it's not that hard. True. True. A valid point there. Alright, we're 60 miles from El Dorado. So let's go ahead and get started with some in-flight entertainment. Hope you guys enjoy your breakfasts. Multiple breakfasts. So let's go ahead and bring in some in-flight entertainment now. I have a 31 now, Heaven. You're doing better than me, Tom.
Backyard, pull up in your fast car, listen to my name.
Alright, in-flight entertainment coming right up. Oops.
my algebra homework. Nuts to school, I'd like to quit.
What you kicking for? She only kept you an hour this time.
Well, who wants to spend an hour just to find out what X equals?
Well, you found out, didn't you?
So what? I'm sick of school. I want to be practical. I want to work.
For crying out loud, don't you get enough work in school?
Oh, rats, not that kind of work. I mean real work. Why, I can learn more about airplanes and motors in the garage than I can in school. I tell you... That's Ray!
Hi, Uncle Ray. Hi, Uncle Ray.
Hiya there, gang.
Long time no see, Ray.
Yeah, busy as ever?
Well, said you'd be in today.
Hey, watch out there, Dr. Jack. You don't blow up the shop.
Come on over here. I want to talk business.
Business? Oh, trouble with the plane?
No, it's about school. I want to quit and get a job.
I thought you wanted to be an aviator.
Well, that's just it. If you could get me a job around the airport, I'd be learning all the right things. Not spending hours and hours at algebra and science and all that junk. I'd be getting in a lot of good groundwork.
Oh, wait a minute. You need more than that. Groundwork's all well and good, but you get the biggest part of that in school. It's the early training and preparation that counts. If you don't have things all figured out right in the first place, you'll never make a good pilot. Many's a tough spot I've been in when I've had a chance to use the things I learned in school. And just lately, too.
You mean on the coast, Ron?
Well, on the last trip, we had a pretty bad storm.
Did anything happen?
No, but something could have happened.
What?
Tell us all about that trip, Ray.
Oh, wait a minute. That's too big an order.
Come on, be good stuff.
What was the first thing you did, Ray?
Well, it started out just like any other trip. I went to the airport an hour early to visit the operations zone. I looked over the weather conditions, planning my route ahead of the trip.
That's where your geography came in handy, huh?
You bet. And while I'm gathering this information and filling out my flight plan, the ship's being thoroughly worked over and inspected by a staff of trained mechanics. You can see there, Monk, how the training in mechanical classes now is a big help in aviation ground school later on.
Idiot. Drunk pilot, yep.
And then I report to the dispatcher and test the radio. Plane number 101 on the ramp. On day frequency, go ahead.
101 on ramp, test okay.
Plane number 101 to WBEK. What's the wind? Go ahead.
WBEK to 101, wind south 4, use runway number 3.
Okay, WBEK. Just before we take off, Norton, my co-pilot, tests the motors while I take a look at the instruments and controls. Everything's clear and away we go. At the controls, Norton and I are busy with the flight log and flight observation report. We give all our information to ground stations by radio, including our height, position, temperatures, wind speed, and direction.
How can a plane in the air tell how fast the wind's going?
I'm afraid I can't explain that without going into higher mathematics. When you fellows get into trigonometry and calculus and other advanced courses, you'll find that things like that will be easy.
Easy?
Sure. Because you'll be learning how to think. You can imagine how fast a fellow has to figure when he's 10,000 feet up in a storm with a 200-mile-an-hour plane on his hands. The pilot has to know what to do and when to do it. That's the spot I was in on one trip. My radio report showed a low ceiling. That means poor visibility. We'll have to go in on the radio beam.
What's a radio beam?
That's a set of signals sent out by radio beam stations along our route to keep us on course.
What kind of signals?
Well, that depends. When I'm on my direct route, I hear a long dash, like this in my earphone. If I go to the left of my course, I hear a series of dot dashes, like this. If I go to the right, I hear a series of dash dots. In either case, I know I'm not headed straight for the airport, so I change my course until I hear the long dash again. And that long dash is going to lead us to a perfect landing. I check my instruments. The artificial horizon shows we're flying on even keel. The altimeter registers 1,200 feet. The airspeed indicator shows we're going just a little over 100 miles an hour and headed right at the beam station. Now the signal fades. I'm right over the beam station in what's called the cone of silence. But in a second, I'm on the opposite leg of the beam and hear the long dash again. I know I'm just past the field. I fly out along the beam, away from the field, for 4 minutes. Now I turn. I'm still at 1,200 feet. And I know I'm 4 minutes away from the field, flying at 100 miles an hour. So I nose her down. In 4 minutes, losing 300 feet a minute, we should be just over the end of the runway. Down we go. 1,000 feet. 900. 800 feet. 700 feet. There's a runway. Now we're settling fast. 300 feet. 100 feet. She's down. And there we are.
Gosh, must take a lot of studying to be a pilot.
You bet it takes a lot of studying and years of intensive schooling. Most pilots come from Army and Navy flying schools, and they have to have at least 2 years of college to get in there.
That's where high school work helps out.
You said it. The future pilot has to know the theory of flying on paper before he ever gets a ship. And he has 1,000 hours flying experience before he can even be a co-pilot.
Gee, 1,000 hours. Looks like everyone connected with aviation or any other business or profession needs to go to school plenty.
That's right, Jack. As a doctor, you'll have some mighty important work to do. The science of medicine is young. It has new men and new ideas, but it needs more. With the proper training, you'll be sitting on top of the world someday. And that's true of every one of you. Boy, when I think what a chance you fellows have to do things, why, there's no limit for you. You'll just get on the job of learning how to think. Gosh, to think that someday you fellows will be telling the world what kind of food to eat, what clothes to wear.
How to make cars better.
Right, and all the other things that change with time and progress. Now just remember this, fellows. If you develop your minds now while you're young, you'll be the ones to design the world of tomorrow.
Remember that, kiddos? Yep, exactly. Got that right. So next one coming right up, and Al, your songs will start playing once I get back to music. Right now, it's still going with in-flight entertainment while I program the FMC for our arrival. So another video, sorry, coming right up for you guys. Just give me a few seconds. There we go. Should work now.
So there I was, doodling airplanes again. My wife, Jane, said I had an obsession. But then she read magazine articles on psychology, and she was always saying things like that. My brother-in-law said I was bugged. But then he's a sports car fan, and he talks like that. It all started a few weeks before when we had the Abbotts over to dinner.
Wonderful dinner, Jane. Doris, we better be getting on. I have to get up early in the morning. We're flying up. Say, why don't you kids come along? Plenty of room in the plane.
Plane? What plane?
Well, we have an airplane now, didn't you know?
Yikes, am I ever out of my class?
Well, it makes more sense than that speedboat rig you've got.
Oh, come on now.
Sure, it's a used plane, and it costs me just about the same to operate as my car does.
And you want us to fly up to the mountains in it? Oh, no. Doris, your husband's mad.
Surely you don't mean you'd be afraid to fly.
You're darn right I would. And a little flivver with you as a pilot? Say, when did you become a pilot?
It's not a little flivver, and I've had my private pilot's license for over a month now.
I thought the CAA had regulations about things like that.
It's the FAA, and they do have regulations. They license the plane just like a new one, so it's quite safe.
Well, I love flying. It's a lot of fun. You fly, too? I mean, actually drive the plane? Well, sure.
You fly?
Well, I'm just learning, but in about 2 more hours, I'm going to solo. We're even planning for Steve to learn on his summer vacation.
The kid, too?
Mm-hmm.
Sure, Steve and Doris do all my navigation.
Navigation?
Yeah, you know, maps. They're good at it. Well, come on, Doris, time to go.
Well, good night. Wonderful evening.
Well, if that didn't take the frosting right off of the cake. Imagine old Sam flying an airplane. And I know he's not as good a driver as I am. And Doris flying, too. And the kid to learn next summer. Well, that was what started it. I'd never known anyone who owned a plane before. But suddenly it seemed as if planes were everywhere. Everywhere I went, something about planes popped up.
We signed up for lessons. Frank's checked out now on the 182, and he's going to fly his whole territory. I'm not distant fishing, and so Harry's going to fly us down there, and we'll be there in plenty of time for the sailing we got on Saturday.
Pretty soon, Sam popped up again, too. In spite of my dire predictions, he and Doris made it back safely from the mountains. I apologized. Jane made me, for casting aspersions on his plane and his abilities as a pilot. Now, Sam's a good friend of mine, but he's just a natural-born salesman. When he believes in something, he sets out to convince the world. But he wasn't going to sell me on that madness. It's logic, man, said Sam. Now, look, he said, you're a man of logic and intelligence. And I complimented him on his astute judgment. So then he started quoting some figures.
So, dividing 30,000 by 50 and again by 120, the result is 600, from which you subtract 250.
Old Sam can really work with those figures. But what it boils down to is he's clipped a neat 350 hours off his travel time. Now, 350 hours is, let's see, divided by 8 hours, it's 44 divided by 5. Over 8 weeks of working time. Not bad.
Not bad, Sam. Not bad. And look, Tom, that 30,000 miles of highway driving that I replaced with my plane, that's 250 hours of relaxed flying instead of 600 hours of hard driving.
The next day we went golfing. Sam ran out that old refrain again. This time between car and plane with gas, oil, depreciation, passenger miles, and so on and so on. The net effect of this figure wizardry was a little startling. It only cost him $570, and he gained 8 weeks in which he increased his sales several thousand and had time to spare. Well, just between you and me, that Sam's pretty sharp with those figures. Sometimes I wish he weren't quite so sharp. The next time Sam started running that same record again, I put a stop to it. After all, there's more to this than just economics. I get to see myself flying into the side of a mountain to save an hour or two. Or suppose the engine just up and quit on me, right up in the middle of the air. I might as well admit it. Frankly, I'm a coward.
Well, man, engines just don't quit, and you don't just stop in the middle of the air. There are more uncontrollable factors on the highways than there are in the air, yet you accept that. Look at the facts. It's a safe investment.
Well, I tell you, it may be, but not for me. Not yet. Sam said I was hard-headed, and I said he was soft-headed. Jane came in and said you're both headed for bed, because I had to drive 300 miles the next day. Well, it was that trip that really knocked the feathers off the goose. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm used to driving thousands of miles a month because I cover a big territory. But the pressure was really on me this trip. I was going to make a full-scale presentation that afternoon for a client that might well spend $100,000 a year. Traffic was unusually heavy and I was behind schedule. So naturally, that's when the tire picked to go flat. Well, it cost me an hour and a half to change that tire and get it fixed. I called my client and told him I was going to be late. He wasn't happy about it. I was late and dirty, but I crossed my fingers and dashed to my client's office. But it was too late. He had already signed a contract with a competitor. Well, my company's hotshot salesman sure did well by himself. Missed the biggest deal of the year, all because of the lousy traffic and the lousy flat tire. Now here I was in this lousy motel room with nothing to do but doodle doodles when I should have been counting my commission. If I ever needed an airplane, it was today.
You're hard-headed, Tom. You're hard-headed.
What the hell?
Checked out now, and he's going to fly his whole territory in less than half.
Glad you got here in time, Tom.
But that was only a dream. The hard reality was that I was headed home without a sale in my pocket. So it was then and there that I decided something had to be done. I headed home and told my wife, "Now look here, something has to be done." Did I say before that Jane always kept up with things? Well, she does. I don't know where she digs up these things, but she came up with these little books called Who Me Fly and Look Who's Flying. And she was waiting for me with a full report and a big smile. She had it all figured out that if I took flying lessons, she could take them too, on the family plan. And it fit very neatly into the budget. So around the house we started calling each other Amelia and Lindy. But I didn't feel so much the intrepid airman the next week when I went for my first flying lesson. I had a high regard for my instructor, Bill Roberts, but then I noticed he had forgotten the parachutes. When I pointed this oversight out to him, he just laughed and said only military and stunt pilots wore shoes. Bill checked me out on the basic rules pretty quickly. Like everything else, the basis of flying safety is good common sense. By the end of a couple of hours, I realized that my fears were, if you'll excuse the pun, groundless. Thanks to Bill, I was soon making takeoffs and landings with my heart, my stomach, and the plane all in the right places. It was surprisingly easy. Modern light planes practically fly themselves. Learning the maneuvers took a little concentration, but it was fun. And there was an unexpected dividend. Up there in the blue, I forgot my problems on the ground. Sales quotas, factory delivery dates. I was feeling better than I had in my whole life. Another nice surprise was the instrument panel. You don't have to be a human univac to figure it out. In a couple of hours, that panel was as familiar as the dash of my car. Jane, of course, was taking lessons too. And if I do say so myself, she was pretty good. After 8.5 hours of dual instruction came the big day when I soloed. I think that was just about the biggest thrill of my lifetime. And when I set the plane down, Bill was waiting for me with a trophy. He forgot the scissors, but when we got inside, he cut a piece of my shirt tail, autographed it, and attached it. He said it wouldn't be many more hours before I could take passengers. Now I've been renting planes and have logged a lot of hours, and I don't mind admitting I get the same thrill up in the air that I did the first day I soloed. I don't exaggerate when I say I opened up a whole new world for myself. As I began to cover my territory by plane, I saved enough time to make about 20% more calls. There had been some customers I was only getting to once a year, and they were glad of the additional service, and they gave me more business. But what was probably more important is that Jane and little Debbie got to accompany me on many trips. We got to go to places we wouldn't have had time for otherwise. Take the last sales meeting. It was in Dallas, so I rented a plane and flew down, taking Jane and Debbie with me. They took off on a shopping expedition, and I took the boss out to the airport to show him the plane I'd flown down. I figured I'd impress him, and I really did. Until he finds out how easy it is to fly, he's going to think I'm a minor genius. Incidentally, if I weren't so modest, I'd tell you what kind of a showing I made at that sales meeting. The day we got back from the sales meeting, the Abbotts came over to hear about the trip. Also, my brother-in-law, Bob, the sports car fan, and his wife, Betty.
Oh, it was wonderful. Tom got to attend the sales meeting while I took Debbie shopping. And then we flew over and spent the weekend with my food.
Hey, they're awesome.
What did you think of the airport down there? Oh, man, it was terrific. I had that runway all to myself. Landed just as well as one of those airlines.
Say, you kids are hung way out on this flying business, aren't you? That's all you talked about all evening. Man, don't you realize you're taking your life in your hands when you go up in one of those things?
So into the fray again. This time, though, I was on the other side of the fence. And I must say that with Sam and I both working on it, it didn't take us long to show Bob the error of his ways. And now he's come up with a plan for he and I to go in together and buy a brand new Cessna. As for my wife, well, this is a deal I didn't have to sell her on. She no longer quotes the psychology articles at me. She's too busy having fun. As far as that goes, we all are.
Well, interesting little video there. Hope you guys enjoyed those short clips. But yeah, interesting thing. This whole video basically was about why you should get a Cessna, why you should get into flying. Really, it's a 1950s video trying to promote, you know, private flying. Really, at that time, because it wasn't as common as it is now. So that's what the big aim was, you know. Because before it used to be a military or airliner only business, so they weren't trying to move it to the private market. Like, you know, everyone can own an airplane, you can have fun, blah blah blah. So pretty cool, pretty darn cool. So back to song requests, and we're already on our descent now, descending via flight level, 19,000 feet, or no, still flight level 190. We're descending to, I believe, 10,000 feet. Is what we're doing right now. We are on the what do you call it, the Marvel 6 arrival. We just flew past El Dorado. Currently we're heading over to waypoint Faye. From Faye we'll be at Ogonee. From Ogonee we'll be at Barf, and then from Barf we should be heading off further into our airport. So I'm on Marvel now, 109.6 on my VOR. I haven't set that up. 109.6, oops. Isn't easy enough. Should pick it up on VOR1. That's going to be the Marvel VOR 109.6, and I'm on a radial of 228 from it. 228. Set that up. VOR2 I want set up for Memphis itself. 117.5. 117.5. And radial of 232. Close enough. Picked up Memphis. Haven't picked up UJM yet. Marvel has a shorter range of only 62 nautical miles, so further away than that. Still trying to not crash the Connie. Yep. That's why we're still on. Awesome. I don't know if the if the captain made the descent thing yet. I don't think so. Don't think, but maybe if I turn the fasten seatbelt signs on now. And no smoking seatbelts. Alright, we're nicely descending. Okay. Set volume to 25 now. Getting a little bit too loud, I couldn't hear the airplane. We want people to hear the airplane. Looking for a little bit of a steeper rate of descent now since we're already at Faye. And I want to be at 10,000 by Tammy, which is not too far off from here. Actually, this is quite a distance away, to be honest. More than 60 nautical miles, I could probably go first. Less steep descent. Keep the airspeed up. That will help me get there a little bit faster. Let me show you my arrival plans, basically. What we're following in this case is this, the Marvel 6 arrival into Memphis. I will be expecting to land runway 36 left. So we passed El Dorado, that was a transition onto the Star, and currently we're heading to waypoint Faye. From Faye, we're going to be heading to Agani. Agani to Barf. Barf to Marvel itself. That's the frequency I set up on my nav 1 radio, 109.6. And then from there we'll be going to waypoint Tammy. At Tammy we should be at 10,000 for landing north. And then
just a little update from the flight deck. We're currently descending, soon be on approach. So our friendly flight attendants will now prepare the cabin.
Nice. Made the announcement there. But yeah, we're gonna, after waypoint Tammy, head right, heading 055, and vector ourselves onto the ILS. Pretty much is what usually would happen. What I have set up in the FMS though, after the KLN-90B, after Tammy, we're going to be flying straight towards waypoint Whiston. From Whiston, we'll head to Frias and Macy and Cadiz. At which point, I'm hoping to have a visual with the runway, and then we'll just execute the visual for runway 36 left. That's pretty much what's going to happen. And yep, there is a little nav map on the left there. And good luck, Tom. Good luck on your landing. Nope, it's absolutely free. If you want the link to it, just type !map in chat and you'll get the link for it. Anyone can type that command, just !map, you'll get it. On the ILS for 36 left though, we should be at 4,000 feet by waypoint Frias, and our minimums will be 760 feet. Yep, there we go. There's a link right there, little nav map. That's what I'm using on the bottom left corner there. Zoom in, probably see it a little bit better now. What leg we are on. At Memphis. Getting nice and cloudy up ahead. Speaking of weather, the weather at Memphis. Current weather at Memphis, winds 320 at 11 knots, 10 statute miles, few clouds at 2,000 feet, temperature 6, dew point 3, altimeter 29er, 79er. So we have descended below 18,000, so I might as well set that in now. 29er, 79er. 29er, 79er, so right below 8. Just a notch below 8. So that's our current altitude right now, 16.5. And we just passed waypoint Faye. Heading over to Ogani. looking good so far. At this rate, we should reach easily 10,000 by Tammy. Getting from Tammy 10,000 to the next waypoint 6,000 is going to be the trick there. The tricky part. I'll go for a little bit of a scenic route if need be, to the right a little bit before heading on towards Watson. So we have 6,000 feet to lose in 23 miles. Doable, but requires a little bit of a steep angle of descent, and doing that sometimes backfires because your passengers become unhappy. But you know, just having them seated for now is probably the best bet given the weather around. Z clouds, it's just feel just a little bit turbulent. Song a little bit quieter. What else? 2.9er, 7.9er. 2.9er, 7. So there's 2.980, 2.980. So right below 2.980, one notch below is 2.9er, 7.9er. So that's what I have set. 2.979. Turn it down a little bit. The range. Move these both to nav 5 pages, we should be able to see our waypoints as well. So we passed Ogoni heading over to Barf. Of course. There's UJM, then Tammy. Heard wrong. No props, no props. I do sometimes not speak properly. I wouldn't blame you. Can be a little bit hard to understand sometimes, which is not really a good thing if you're a Twitch streamer. You know? Supercharger is still engaged. Here's a little flight engineer's window. Take a good look at the engines. Interestingly enough, you can only see the right side engines. If you want to see the left side, you'll have to come over to the captain's seat or trust the captain really, because only he has view of his airplane from this side. Even then, mostly they're engine 1 and 2 basically. Mostly 1. We're at 15,000 already now. Doing about 280 knots ground speed. This, I'm guessing, is some song requested by Orel. Maybe. Don't know. Sounds German.
Dopamin ist wohl das, was du am meisten brauchst. Also allerspätestens, wenn du dein Mic verkaufst. Du verblutest wie Katrin im Arschfixer. Zitterst über Beats, denn du hast Parkinson. Nach dem Battle schaust du zu mir hoch, ich bin die Oberliga. Denn ich bin im Behindertenheim der beste Coca-Dealer. Meine Betreuerin, deine Ma hat mir der Mic geschenkt. Aber das nur, weil du wie immer so scheiße raps.
Oh yeah, definitely getting turbulent now. Getting pushed around. I'm innocent. Alright, let me check then who it is. I know, it's Tom. Actually, Tom that requested this. So Tom, you understand German? Or actually, correct me if I'm wrong, but is that even German in the first place? I would never play German rap anywhere. I see, got it. Did seem a little suspicious. We're at 31 miles from Marvel and closing. That sounds like video game music. No, that was the wrong song. I see, Tom. Roll rip. Well, I'm off. Goodbye. All right. See ya, Tom. Thanks for joining in, man. Take care. Talk care. Looks like you had a nice landing. I hope you did at least. 70s. I love this song. Like, there was a time when I had this song on replay like all the time. It's such a good song. Wow, we're running into some overcast conditions here. Just a little bit. Like literally a blank sea of clouds over Memphis. That changed in a jiffy. We took off from where was it? Houston. It was all nice and clear. Just literally 2 clouds in the sky. And over here, it's a whole different story.
Heaven, if you sent us down, so we could build a playground for the sinners to play a saint.
Hope we have Pitot heat on. Would be a wise thing to do. I don't know why I didn't turn it on yet. Not like we flew through some clouds anyways, but still, could have been bad.
For every mother, every child, every brother that's caught in the crossfire.
Alright, we are at UJM now. We should be at 10,000 soon. We are over Marvel, heading over to Tammy.
Just can't get enough. No, heaven, if you sent us down, so we could build a playground for the sinners to play as saints.
You got my head track enabled now. Make looking around a little bit easier. Now here's an interesting thing. You see this crack right here or something in the window? Always, like when I look to the left, I always end up thinking that's some kind of contrail, especially when it's lined up like perfectly with the sky. It looks like there's an airplane passing by, leaving a contrail. That gets me every time. Obviously, it's a reflection of something down here, maybe in my seat, I think, or a scratch, maybe. Don't know. Hey, Walkari, what's up, man? Well, I just like literally asked you the same question. But yeah, hey man, just flying the Connie in. What is the ETA? In the next 20 minutes? We're just now descending into Memphis, descending via 13,000 feet and going down to 4,000 feet to intercept the ILS course for runway 36 left. There you go, idiot. Rich boy has replied. It's showing an estimate of 1308 Zulu. So yeah, 10 more minutes according to that. I like how the flight is in like, oh, I didn't get rid of that, did I? Thanks for reminding me, Stormy. Rip. What airplane is it? This is the A2A Constellation. Connie, as she is so kindly known by most. The L049 Tri-tail beast. Our beauty. The old Queen of the Skies, the first Air Force One. All that. All this plane. Oh well, some variant of it. She is the old Queen of the Skies. Alright, back into the cockpit. Alright, we should be heading over to Watson now, which is our initial approach fix. For the ILS, 32 miles away, and we're not at 10,000. Oops, we need to go down now quickly. Quickly now. Reduce speed. We'll throttle it back, start descending. We're supposed to be going down to 4,000 feet now by Frias, which is just 8 miles away from Watson. We have 40 miles roughly, 38 miles now, to go from 12,000 feet to 4,000 feet, so 8,000 feet to be lost. Obviously can't go too fast to descent or the passengers behind won't be happy. They'll start making those puke sounds and go like, ugh. And then, I have done it. If you go into too much of a descent, even Betty comes and complains, oh, low blowers being engaged. Gotta add some more power now. There you go. Betty making the announcement, letting them know we're gonna be preparing the cabin for landing. Descending via 11,000 feet now. Make him puke as you're crossing Barflo. You already passed Barf though. Damn it. Would have been epic for that. When are you gonna fly the B-29 USA bomber, and what do you think of the updated 747 released by PM? The B-29, I don't have it yet. Will I ever fly it? I don't know. If it has good cargo capacity, I might get it for air hauler 2. But even before that, probably if I am gonna get another plane by A2A, it's probably going to be the Strato Cruiser. Because, I mean, I'm happy with the Connie so far. I'm guessing the Strato Cruiser will be absolute blast as well. In terms of other airplanes, the PMDG should be fun. All I'll say. I've always been a big fan of the 747. Enjoyed flying it to bits, so can't wait for a proper upgraded 747 and all the variants that's available for us. Will I be getting it immediately day one? Maybe not, because I'm sure it's going to be a lot of money. And I gotta save up first, but we'll still be pretty happy to fly it. And if all goes well, it'll be out in 2 weeks. Speaking of which, I gotta tune into the other VOR now. Sorry, the ILS frequency for runway 36 left is 108.9er. 108.9er. I think that's set. Can confirm that in here on the menus. 108.9er. There we go. Should be 108 now. Alright, past 10,000 feet, landing lights can go on. And we'll extend those as well. Passengers are already seated, fasten seatbelts, and no smoking signs are on. Windshield heat is on, pitot heat's on. Definitely going to need it flying through these clouds here. It's going to be on the margin of being cold. It's not below freezing, I don't think, not yet. Outside the temperature is +0 already. So icing should not be an issue. But turbulence definitely will be. It's going to get a little bit rough while we fly through this. On VR1, right, I'm on ILS course of 360 exact. It's nice, convenient. Gonna be my ILS course, and that's the. No, that'll have to be the brown one. When the brown one's active, that's when you know it's active. Right now, that's the course to Memphis. Guess might as well make that 360 as well, or close to it as I can. What we're going for, and there's our expected turbulence, our scheduled turbulence. 12 miles to Watson, and we have 3,000 feet to lose. Things are gonna get hairy just a little. Hear the plane squeaking and creaking now. Quite a lot. as the airframe takes the stress of flying through this turbulent air. You can definitely feel it and hear it all around. I'm not sure if it translates well into stream because of the music that's playing, but I can definitely hear the plane, you know, squeaking, creaking. 7 miles to Watson and 2,000 feet to go. Not bad. It's gonna work out well. Only concern right now is the airspeed. We're doing like 230 knots, I think. 210, no, we're doing 220 knots, which again shouldn't be too much of an issue getting rid of once we are on final. Won't need as steep a rate of descent, I don't think. Our minimums are going to be 760 feet. 760 is what we're looking for. Alright, 2 miles from Watson and 1,500 feet to lose. You can see the ground. Memphis should be off and to our left in the distance. About 20 miles away from us to our left is Memphis. I gotta keep an eye out for that every time we turn. Gain altitude. Airplane loves to climb in a turn and then loves to dive out of it, so gotta adjust your trim accordingly. What do you think of the supersonic boom? Will it ever fly our skies? It might. It is a real possibility. Will it be accessible to all is another question. It's probably going to be one of those things, the same thing that happened with Concorde, is that it's going to be super expensive. Not going to be really affordable to the masses, I don't think. Not for a long while, because of the fuel efficiency of it all. Also, rip music. Alright, we are at 4,000 almost, heading to Frias. 4 miles from Frias. It's good. Start bleeding out the airspeed. Don't have the airfield in sight, but it should be right on ahead of us. Got the localizer now. We are below glide slope, apparently. Localizer's off and to our right a little bit. Alright, let's disengage out of 5. Try to maintain 4,000 now, the best I can. There you go, there's the passengers barfing. Lol. They're not happy about that. Not one bit. Glide's coming down. We're not happy with all the turbulence that's happening around us right now. I wouldn't be either. Alright, localizer to my left. And glide's coming down as well. Really gotta lose airspeed. Complimentary barf bag, yep. You gotta have one on the flight every time. Severe updraft. And the cloud there. $11 miles from the airfield. Still at 200 knots. Not a good sign. No visual with the airport. Not yet. Up, airfield inside now, straight up ahead. Airfield inside. Let's try to bleed the airspeed the best I can. Just gotta get it down to 160, then I can add a notch of flaps, and that'll help us slow down real quick. There we go, 160, one notch of flaps, and watch. There we go. Watch the speed down, drop like a rock. Gear down, and another notch of flaps.
Approach flaps.
Drifting off into the right. Glide slope, I'm not too worried about. Localizer, I am though. Right, full RPMs increase in case of a go around. In case you do have to go around, left turn heading 030. 1 mile from Memphis, left turn heading 301.
Flight crew, prepare the cabin for landing.
On landing flaps.
Flaps down.
Good luck, thanks man. Alright, we're good on loc. Gotta manage the glide. Damn crosswinds. Wind's coming out of 300, so from our left. Turn into the wind a little bit. See that airspeed jumping around? Yeah, that's when you know things are bad. Alright, passing 1,000 feet. Approaching minimums. And minimums have visual landing. checked. That's 500 feet above ground level, not 500 above sea level. This airport's at 200 feet above ground elevation.
300 feet.
Alright, let's not mess this up. Not like last time.
200 feet.
Damn it, every time. Alright, let's bring her down smoothly. We got enough runway. No need to rush her down. Nice and gentle.
Setting count flaps.
There we go. Okay. Alright, we're down. Welcome to Memphis, ladies and gentlemen.
Ground blower.
Oh well. Alright, let's vacate now. We should be at
Setting count flaps.
Mike 7, okay. Ramp should be to our right. Often, but I'm not sure where we're parking yet, so I'll just hold short right here. After we vacate the runway, clean the airplane up, we'll go ahead and taxi over to the gate. Parking brakes. Flaps up.
Flaps up.
Line lights off. Retracted. Nose lights on. Probably should have done that on approach.
Hello again.
Pitot heats
On
off.
the flight deck. We're now taxiing back to the terminal. Please remain in your seats with your seatbelts fastened until the aircraft comes to a complete stop. We want to say it was a pleasure to have you with us. We hope to see you again real soon.
Yay, finally, we didn't have the captain say, oh, sorry about the trouble we had in flight. Actually went well. Lol. Actually went well. Okay, we're gonna be parking at, don't have much gate options. I don't want to park at a terminal because we don't have jetways, but it looks like we're gonna have to, really. Unless I can go to gate 5 or something. Let's taxi back a little bit and see what we can do. Basically, gotta head out in this direction. Yeah, there are no gates here. I gotta park at a jetway. There's no open ramps as far as I can tell. There are open ramps at the FedEx cargo parking area, but I don't think I'd want to park in FedEx area. But thank you, Walkerry. And yep, that A2A flowed though. Every time. Still getting the hang of it. The Connie. Still can't get the landings right. It's one aircraft that end up floating. The other thing is also the fact that, like, you need really fine movements with this, and the side deck yoke's dead zone, like in the middle on the elevator, doesn't help. Like, I want to move it slightly, but it ends up moving quite a bit, which is a little bit of a pain. Okay. Stabilize this at 1200 RPMs and use the inboard engines for taxi. On to November we go. Taxi back via November. See what we can do about the gates. You have a curve to set up at all? Yes, I do have a curve. I think I do have a curve set up in FSU IPC to try to balance it out. But I think I saw a video on the forums that's saying that you need to adjust it a little bit more for the Connie. Like you need it to be really fine controls if you want to be getting good landing and stuff like that. So I might try that later on. But at the moment, it is what it is. I'm gonna bring her over to some of the gates here. I mean, in the end, what might just end up happening is me parking at one of these jetways, I guess. Yep. All jetways. Can't see a single ramp. Like an open ramp on which we don't have a jetway. RIP that song was getting in my head. Yeah, where do we park, man? Where do we park? Take a look at the... Actually, let me disable head tracking so your camera's not going weird. Let me take a look at the ground chart once again. Cargo, central ramp, terminals right here. 2 Whiskey, 2 Echo, middle area. Yeah, there's literally nowhere to stop, is there? Gotta set transponder to stand by now. This is technically, according to the chart, this area next to us is where you could park, but usually why you park here is because of de-icing. So these are the de-icing areas on these taxiways, the ones next to us, this one, and the one next to it, these two, de-icing ramps. All these gates here are all jetway linked. There's a ramp over there. It's a UPS, I think, cargo terminal. Let's see. That's the cargo central ramp. So we could go there and park, because that looks like the only place where we have gates where we'll be able to have air stairs. So might as well go to that one. It'll be a little bit of a taxi, but we can take it. Right now on Tango, gotta go on to Papa, cross the runways at Papa. Not paying attention to where I'm going. And hello there, Farmello. Do I know Credo? Nope. Is that somebody I should know? Alright. Juliet, Tango. I'll take the next one over. Pop out across. And thank you so much for your follow, Farmer Milo. Welcome to the Aviation Hub, sir. Welcome. Passengers are probably like, let us off already. Why are you taxiing? But this Papa will use this to cross the runways, and then at those terminals right there is where we'll best bet we'll have some parking for us, or this airplane. I mean, like, I could park this airplane at a jetway. The thing is, the jetway can't connect to it because my doors are not here. My doors are all the way at the back of the airplane. So otherwise, what I'll have to do is, reduce to. Right, crossing runway. Left is clear, right is clear. Gotta make sure of that. Remkov. The thing is, it won't look as good as an X-plane because the way the FSX loads its scenery and stuff, it starts to go blurry after a certain distance. X-plane handles that a lot better, which is why for-the-wheel scenery works better in X-plane than FSX. It's really not worth all the trouble to set it up in FSX, if you ask me. You know, gain, like the time spent fixing it versus the gains. There's good freeware even for-the-wheel scenery like blue sky sceneries and stuff like that. But yeah, like I said, it's definitely not worth the effort in FSX because it ends up getting all blurred out anyways. Oh crap. That's where we're supposed to park. Oh. Let's not run off the taxiway. Just park anywhere, we'll walk. Well, either way they'll have to walk. I mean, it's 1950s, yo. You walked. You didn't get moved around. I don't think, at least not back in the day. Then again, the airplane literally parked right up to in front of the terminal, and then just got out and walked through the airplane and got up the stairs. Slow down a little bit. Head on over to the cargo ramp. Sure they'll be happy to have us here. I'm gonna flip a U-turn basically, that's what I'm doing. Go ahead and left a little bit. And park facing forward because pushbacks in this airplane, not a thing. Definitely not a thing. You can reverse in a Connie. All you gotta do is have a Super Constellation that has reversers on it, so you could back out that way. But on this Connie, you can't. You can't push back. Nice low turn, just to annoy the passengers even a little bit more. There we go. Perfect. So stop it right here. Perfect. Perfect parking. Turn our nose lights off. Leave beacons running. Because we'll have one engine running while the passengers deboard. Maybe we can go ahead and turn off the other engines and get off. Let them get off. So, for that, what we need to do is turn auxiliary fuel pumps off, or the engines we're going to turn off. So it's going to be turn them off.
Back to you, sir.
All these songs, I don't even know what song this is playing from requests. Anyways, auxiliary fuel pumps 1, 2, and 4 off. Same with the mixtures. And magnetos as well. 4 off, 2 off, 1 off. Passion and no smokings can go off.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned off the seatbelt sign, which means you can leave your seat
So let's ask them to get ready to deboard. Where is it at? Unload. Stairs should connect now. And passengers should start unloading. There's the stairs. Auto moving stairs. Alright, they're gonna start unloading now. I'm gonna turn windshield heat off as well. Say passengers are unloading. Yep, perfect. Once they're unloaded, I'll go kill all the engines, the last remaining engine, and then we'll get our flight report. That's when we will know how we did on this flight. Personal notes, how can I advance my career? Well, we'll find out. I don't think he knows yet, or in that video, I'm gonna guess it's probably child proxy or FS Earth or whatever it was called that allowed you to do stuff like that. There's our engine 1 running, engine 3, sorry.
Awesome to the max.
$19 passengers still on board, just waiting for them all to get off, then we'll know how exactly we did. In terms of our landing rate, I can check that for you guys in the meanwhile. How we did in terms of our landing. Speaking of which, get rid of that, don't need that anymore I don't think. Let's disconnect from BatSim as well. Atlanta Center came online. Nice. That's what a Project Fly will come in handy for. So mass monitor, there it is, and landing rate, we touched down at 12 feet per minute. Seem legit. Seem toast legit. 12 feet per minute. I don't think it was that smooth, but okay. Six passengers still on board. Let them get off. There's the famous Betty, one serving us coffee and serving passengers meals. And there's the flying Remkov. And there's Remkov himself. Love me. Come on. Get her offloaded. 4 passengers. So happy. Need for manual information, masking water is something they always talk about. Yeah, that's true, yeah. Otherwise your water will look very, very still. 2 passengers remaining. Let's wait for the 2 to get off. You notice Betty has gone inside now. That's when you know the passengers are almost all gone. Closing the door. Passengers gone. We can step in the cockpit now and turn off the last remaining engine. Generator 3 off. Auxiliary fuel pump 3 off. And mixture cut off. Magnetos off. Master ignition off. Yep, there you go. Betty just said bye. Nice flight, Captain. And let's go. Moment of truth. Moment of truth. You guys ready? Get ready. Let's do it. Let's find out. Shift 9. There we go. Flight number 10 completed. 16 hours, 59 minutes. Been spent in this airplane now. 3,510 statute miles, 4,590 statute miles in the air, 3,500 in the ground. Passenger miles 127,000. I don't know what those are. Salary 9,804 US dollars, 50s, 1950s, 88,000 current date. I'm an average pilot. My allergies felt great on that plane. That's what the passenger said, apparently. And I guess the landing was nice. I got a nice round of applause on the landing. And still looking on advancing my career. Not bad. Not bad at all. So, once again, a great flight. My beacon's still running, but nonetheless, you know, once again, great flight. Glad to be able to have made it safely in one piece, and surprisingly, with all 4 engines still running. You know, we've had good luck with that. Only one time we had an engine problem so far, but we still managed to land the airplane with all 4 engines running every time so far. So that's usually a good sign, I guess. But it also means that it's only a matter of time when we have engine failure soon enough, because that's what the economy is famous for. You know. But thank you for joining me for this wonderful flight, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. And I'll catch you again next stream over the week sometime. I'll let you guys know on Discord when I'll go live next, possibly next Friday. Not sure about Saturday, but yeah, I'll let you guys know. Take care, and catch you later. Bye-bye.